One of the great and many mysteries that left the Star Wars community scratching their heads ever since Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens movie released was the idea on who is Rey and where did she come from. Fan theories have sprouted from all over suggesting a great many things, but the one theory that seems to have the community talking is that of a bloodline connection, that Rey's lineage just may be connected to a dark and sinister bloodline, as theories imply that Rey may be the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. And in this edition of Star Wars Theories, we are going to be discussing the ideas alongside looking into the facts to make a determination on whether or not this theory can be proven correct. And please make a note that nothing has been set in stone or confirmed for Star Wars Episode 8. This is merely a fan theory, as this is also an open discussion for the community to weigh in their opinions as well. If your opinions differ or if you have anything to add on to this conversation, feel free to drop your comments down below, and be sure to subscribe for more awesome Star Wars theories and content. With Star Wars Episode 8 nearing ever so closer, reports suggest that Star Wars Episode 8 is in fact going to be much more shocking and sinister than The Force Awakens. With that in mind, one can only assume as to how and what this could mean. Having to grasp the idea of who Ben Solo is and where he came from having to become Kylo Ren over time is more than fitting to now have the same be done with Rey's character going into the next movie. But of course, the great question is Rey related to Emperor Palpatine? It's not irrational to believe, as we could make several unique comparisons from what we've seen in The Force Awakens with Rey and Emperor Palpatine. Now, she could be a Palpatine, a Solo, a Skywalker, a Kenobi, or simply a nobody, which is what makes her background story that much more interesting. One of many examples we'll be looking at today was the way Rey was wielding her lightsaber. For someone who's never held or dueled with a lightsaber in her life before, it's ironic and more interesting to note that the way Rey carries and attempts her first lightsaber attack mirrors and reflects the way Emperor Palpatine was wielding his lightsaber in Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, as we also see her first attempts in using the lightsaber as her first offensive move was that of a direct strike. Now, where have we seen that before? With Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 3, when confronted by Jedi Master Mace Windu, Emperor Palpatine is shown saber striking directly, which is that of Rey's first attempt against Kylo Ren. Another interesting note was when Rey was seen wielding the lightsaber above her head, looking to forcefully strike down Kylo Ren, similar to when Emperor Palpatine raised his lightsaber above his own head as he was looking to strike down Jedi Master Yoda in their duel in Star Wars Episode 3. Could this be a possible foreshadowing of Rey's lineage having to reflect on Emperor Palpatine's lightsaber abilities? They are literally identical to one another, but what about the internal conflict happening within Rey? If by some chance her identical lightsaber skills with Palpatine are just a mere coincidence, then what about Rey's demeanor in The Force Awakens? Although she was on the side of truth and justice in The Force Awakens, Rey was shown going on a rampage several times as she managed to not only kill a stormtrooper with a gun, but also resume her actions with a look of hatred in her face moments after killing the stormtrooper. More notably enough, her duel against Kylo Ren. Who's to say that if the ground didn't separate them that Rey wouldn't have killed Kylo Ren? Well, in fact, she was about to. She was tempted, as seen when pacing back and forth while Kylo Ren lied on the ground. Rey was tempted by the dark side to kill Kylo Ren according to the official script, where it's stated, and I quote, "and she could kill him right now with one vicious strike," but she stops, realizing that she stands on a greater edge than even the cliff, the edge of the dark side. And of course, if that doesn't add to our suspicion, then what about the canon Force Awakens novel that was released, which gave us an insight as to what was happening in Rey's mind as an unknown voice orders her to kill Kylo Ren, as it was stated, and I quote, "kill him," a voice inside her head says. It was unidentifiable, raw, pure vengeful emotion, so easy, she told herself, so quick. Where have we seen this before? The act of murder, with none other than Palpatine, when Anakin Skywalker had Count Dooku defeated, with Palpatine telling Anakin to kill him, as Anakin did by deception. So who's to say that if the ground didn't separate Kylo Ren and Rey, that she wouldn't have caved into the voices in her head and successfully killed Kylo Ren? If she could take a stormtrooper's life, then what would prevent her from taking a dark side user's life as well, such as Kylo Ren? Rey is unbelievably powerful and is also being pulled heavily by the dark side. She in fact could have more more to her than what's being given to us in The Force Awakens. Her untapped abilities make her that much more dangerous, as even Supreme Leader Snoke recognizes this in wanting to capture her. Her bloodline cannot be that of an ordinary person, as Rey's pull in the Force is so powerful we see bits and pieces of her confliction in The Force Awakens, more so reflecting on her anger and rage that she emits on the big screen. Did you not notice? Notice how Rey was more angry and aggressive in The Force Awakens than anyone else. Remember what Jedi Master Yoda said, and I quote, "A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack," alongside the classic line, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering." Rey is angry for not knowing what happened to her parents. Rey is angry for witnessing Finn be hurt by the hands of Kylo Ren and the death of Han Solo. Rey is fearful but also ambitious, which is why her pull to the dark side is that much more powerful. Palpatine was a master in reading people and feeling out their emotions, a master manipulator, and we also see a small glimpse of this as Kylo Ren was reading Rey's mind as she turned the tides against him, using Kylo Ren's own feelings against him as she mocked the idea that Kylo Ren will never be as strong as Darth Vader. Now, one has to ask themselves, how in the world was Rey able to do this? For the first time ever, mind you, being able to tap into Kylo Ren's mind and seeing his deepest desires. What if Rey is deceiving everyone? What if she was purposely waiting for all of this to happen just to get close to Luke Skywalker and to put an end to the Skywalker bloodline and an end to all future Jedis? But wouldn't the idea of Rey being related to Palpatine go against the idea of Rey being related to Luke Skywalker? Because 90% of people believe that she is indeed a part of the Skywalker lineage. However, in the Star Wars novel entitled Bloodline, Leia was stated to always have been in consistent communication with Luke even when Luke went off to start the Jedi Academy. So that being the case, she would have known if in fact Luke Skywalker had a daughter offspring based on their consistent communication with each other. But it wouldn't make sense for Luke and Leia to always be in consistent communication without knowing of one another's offspring. The idea that Rey was purposely sent to live on Jakku because of her bloodline to Palpatine seems to make sense, and the reason for that is because if someone from both the light or the dark were to learn of a girl who is the granddaughter of the most powerful dark side user ever, Palpatine, they would surely want to capture her. So for her safety, you place Rey out of the equation and send her off to a place where not even Supreme Leader Snoke can find her. The reasons to keep Rey where she is, however, is to lie to her and tell her that her parents will come back and return for her as a means to keep her from leaving the planet. If and only if Rey was indeed a part of the Skywalker family, to me at least, would have been a missed opportunity, as now there is no longer a black sheep of the family, since now everyone would be either related to a Skywalker or a Solo. J.J. Abrams also stated in an open interview that Rey's parents were not shown in The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker was shown in The Force Awakens though, and if what J.J. Abrams is said to be true, and none of the characters shown in The Force Awakens happen to be her parents, so who could it be? With her personality and incredible pull to the dark side shown, it's very possible that Rey may be related to one of the most powerful Sith Lords to ever live, as it would create an overwhelming shock to audiences once the silence is broken. It's possible that indeed Rey could have been the offspring of Luke Skywalker, or perhaps some other unforeseeable characters, but having Rey be the direct descendant of the most powerful and sinister dark side user in all of Star Wars would surely leave audiences amazed as to what she might do next after realizing her lineage and ties to the Dark Lord of the Sith. During the Knights of Ren dream sequence, we also see Kylo Ren kill one of the knights in order to protect Rey, and we know that Kylo knows of the girl long before they even ran into each other outside of Maz Kanata's hideout. So if she wasn't of importance and was just another nobody, then why is she so important to those who are looking to capture her if she didn't have any direct connection with somebody that we already know? Hence why Supreme Leader Snoke wants to capture her, hence why Kylo Ren wanted to capture her. It'll be an unexpected plot twist to have Rey be revealed to be the granddaughter of the most powerful dark side user in the entire galaxy at the time, Darth Sidious, more so than having her be revealed as a Skywalker. And yes, although Star Wars follows the premise of the Skywalker story, having Rey be unrelated to the Skywalkers would certainly add tension and depth to the story, as now she is faced with a choice on whether or not to side with the same family that murdered her grandfather. A minor detail that I've also noticed in this film was her accent, and yes, I know it may seem unimportant to some, but Palpatine also had an accent. Coincidence? Maybe. Relatable? Possible. And as I stated early on in the video, this is merely a discussion touching on the idea on Rey being related to Palpatine. But what do you guys think down in the comment section below? Do you guys believe it would have been a great idea to add a plot twist to the film and have Rey be related to a dark side user? Or do you guys firmly believe that Rey is in fact related to Luke Skywalker? Post your comments down below, guys. Thank you guys for watching so much. I truly hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are Star Wars fans, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome Star Wars discussions and theories. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys love the video, if you guys love Star Wars in general, make sure to show your love for Star Wars by slapping a like on the video. Post your comments down below. Tune in for the next discussion, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Thank you all, and God bless. Peace.